Hey, this is Ruth Hartunian-Ellenba, otherwise known as Ravings and Cravings. I am here with Tori Cardinal. He is the owner, the big guy at Sweet Peas Fine Food and Farm Market in Brooklyn, Connecticut. We will talk. He has so much stuff to say, and I have just such a short time, but I have to do these public service things. I am here because of Package Store. Thank you for your sponsorship of this program, Ravings and Cravings. Thank you to WILI 14 AM, 95.3 FM. If you're listening, you found us, so you know where we are. So today, like I said, I'm talking to Tori Cardinal from Sweet Peas Fine Food and Farm Market. It's a long name, but they can find you by just probably Googling Sweet Peas.
Absolutely, yeah. Sweet Peas Fine Foods in Brooklyn.
All right, give us the
Works for me.
address, the phone number, your social media presence, how we find you.
All right, so we're at 520 Providence Road in Brooklyn, Connecticut. Our store phone is 860-779-3040. And Facebook, we're on Facebook, Twitter, I believe.
Are you on Instagram?
Instagram, not Twitter. Yes, correct. I'm not gonna.
You're not the social
Not gonna
media
be pretend. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
not my role is in the kitchen.
all right.
And
Yes. Tell us about your
let the
role.
tech
Tell us
savvy.
about your area of expertise here.
So my area expertise is what I try to do is just assemble the best team I can and put out the best products that we can and find the best products that we can so yeah, I mean I am in the kitchen typically 5 days a week, but that doesn't mean I don't do all the cooking. I've got a team of three full-time guys and not including myself and one part-time guy and so they do most of the cooking.
That's a pretty heavy staff as far as food prep.
Yeah, I mean
I mean,
it
that
depends.
means you're pumping out a lot of product.
We do, and the guys, it's not your typical restaurant style, and we're making meals that are then we package and put out there. So we don't have a typical line like you'd see in a
Right. Yeah.
so it's kind of almost more set up like your home kitchen basically, but with a lot better equipment and a lot more room.
And I gotta tell you, people need to stop in your place because you have so many things to choose from. Like if you walk out with nothing, I mean, I just can't believe anyone could ever do that. So, I mean, besides having prepared food, so that means like food that you can warm and you can take home and bake or bake off or whatever.
Yeah.
You have tons of kinds of baked goods.
We do. So what we do is we do a lot of research, and so my front of the house manager, Crystal, who's been with us since day one. So
Oh, what was day
over
one?
15 years ago now. So
15.
yeah.
When was your birthday? When was
So,
your anniversary, I should say?
it was in May, actually.
Oh.
So yeah.
Happy birthday.
Just, yeah,
15
just-
years.
So she is actually the one that's really kind of responsible for curating, what we have up there for the groceries, and obviously we all talk about it. We use a lot of vendors. So on the bakery aspect of it, we get things from really all over the country, some from Europe.
Oh my gosh.
So everything. So we take a lot of pride in, we can only do so much in our facility and stuff like that. So a lot of our bakery is outsourced. We will finish it off in house, but a lot of it is outsourced. And like I said, we probably deal with 3-4 different companies right now for bakery. We just started selling a product from Providence area. It's called Nevada.
Oh my gosh,
Bakery.
I've tried
Incredible
their
stuff.
stuff. The Willimantic Food Co-op also carries
Yep,
it.
yep.
It's Nevada really. They've taken
Oh,
the bakery
they're
world by
incredible.
storm. I think
They're incredible.
they are.
And I got a chance to meet the owner, and
lucky
he's
you.
so passionate. He's ground level guy. He's just like me. He's in the kitchen or bakery every day, and it shows in his product. He makes a really good product, an excellent product as far as I'm concerned. And they're coming to us a couple days a week, and
Awesome.
yeah, it's exploded. Then we have some smaller shops that we deal with, but it's what we're always kind of forever in the hunt for new products and great products. We do work a lot with some local. We have like local meats. We have
Yeah, so like when you say local, like where
well,
do they
local.
come from?
The local term gets kind of skewed.
It
now.
does, yeah.
If you really kind of look up what is considered local, I think we've done it before, and I think you can go to like all the way down to Jersey and like
That's
up
considered
to
local?
like the
Okay.
north of the border, and it's like I don't. That's not what we do. We like to, especially on produce, we're starting to get away from doing produce, trying to be regular with it. We found here, for us anyway, that people in a store like ours, they only care about it when it's really local. And so we are trying to do a little bit better of a job, and it kind of stinks because we're not carrying products, year round, especially in
Yeah.
the produce. But I would rather have that good product that's grown close. We have a tomato and corn guy, and he does other stuff, but he comes to us 5 days a week. 5 days a week, every morning, and his product is
Wow.
picked that morning. We work closely with Lapsley Orchard in
Oh,
Pomfret
nice.
there.
Yep.
And I go up, and I've literally many a times have gone, spoke with John. My order's not ready. I drive out in the back in my truck, and the guys are in the field. So and it's like, here,
Wow, talk about
now that's fresh
farm
and
to
that's
table, right?
local. Yeah,
Yeah, it
and
is. Yeah.
so we try to do as much of that as possible. It is hard because you have to deal with conditions. These farmers are
Lots
up
of
against a lot
unpredictable,
of things,
lots of unpredictable things.
and
Yeah.
so it's a roller coaster. But and same with the groceries. We're always looking for local. As much local products. We carry local soaps, local honeys. We have. There's just
I think there were
small little
some
niche
beverages.
items.
I think that you
So
had
we
that
do
were
Hosmer out of Wilmanic.
yeah,
They
Hosmer.
come to us all the time, and we love their product. Just we try to keep it as local as possible. It's not always possible, but
No, but and I did see that you have a really large line of imported things from
We
all
do,
around.
yeah.
So like talk about that stuff because I'm thinking when I walk in there, the word charcuterie comes to mind. I'm like, give me the cart.
So
Let me fill the cart.
yeah. Well, there's like a fine line. Grocery was a area of our store that was kind of we started off with a big bang with it, and then it's just a very tough sell sometimes because we are a small buyer. We can't compete with a grocery store. We can't. For us to survive,
Well,
our
that makes.
margins
I mean,
are kind of
it's not apples to apples. It's not.
no.
You're not.
But
Grocery store is not the same as
a
you.
lot of no, but that's true. But they also are doing. A lot of grocery stores are doing a great job of finding these products as well.
Right.
And so we're constantly trying to find something that you can't get there. And
You have a lot
that's
of unique, yes.
That's a tough job, and Crystal works her butt off at it. And
So name some of the things that you have that are unique.
we do carry some different olive oils. We have a great hot sauce line that's actually made in Woodstock. That
I think you saw a couple of different kinds of pasta lines.
yeah. There's some different pasta lines, al dente, and we do have we carry Venda ravioli from Federal Hill, which we've been selling that since
Really?
day one.
Rhode Island,
yeah,
right?
yeah, Providence.
Federal Hill.
So they've been good to us. They come down, once a week, and so we get a lot of. We try to expand, and our grocery line has expanded over the years. We're just trying to find out more about what people want, and like you kind of hit it on the head with charcuterie. We try to do more. Our niche in the grocery is kind of more the appetizery kind of thing.
Yeah, like small plate,
instead of
kinda.
yeah, instead of it. we're not going to be able to compete with the grocery store. You're not going to be able to come in and get everything you need for your household, in
Right,
one
right.
stop shop. So, we kind of have to be a little more unique and have those more unique products, and and we cater more towards the snacking kind of aspect of it, and charcuterie, some cheeses. We have ups and downs with the cheese. We started off when we first opened. We were buying all kinds of great cheeses from all around the world and local.
I remember that.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was like it was a shame, but it just
didn't fly very well.
it didn't
Huh?
fly, and unfortunately,
Well, that's what people don't
and
want it,
so we're also, that was then,
Yeah.
So now we got to slowly try to introduce some of that back to the our offerings, and we are, and we do, we sell a lot of Cabot and some cheese spreads and stuff like that. But I would love to get back to that, Cato Corner kind of thing.
And you have
it's great products.
You have lots of like jams, jellies, sauces, those kinds of things. Talk about also, like, I mean, I park on that for a long time, but also I don't want to miss the prepared food things. So, like, what are the things that you sell that someone can walk in, they can buy, take home, and eat it? What are some of your like best sellers? Can you cater? Like, what if somebody needs, enough food for 50 to 100 people? Is that possible?
Okay,
That was two questions.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's all right. Now I just gotta process it. Now, so yeah, prepared food is kind of the heart of our business. Prepared food, the sandwiches, and we've grown that dramatically since day one. Obviously, experimented with a lot of things over 15 years. A lot of failures, a lot of hits. But kind of what we found more to be the shining stars are the comfort foods. It's kind of things that a lot of people have grown up on or like. But they don't necessarily have the time to make it all the time, or I kind of we kind of look at our businesses, slow food fast, things that take
Interesting. Yeah.
some time to make, but everybody knows them.
So what, we're talking meatloaf,
Meatloaf,
macaroni and cheese,
meatloaf,
mashed potatoes.
That's exactly. Shepherd's pie is like
Chicken pot pie.
Yeah, all those kinds of products that people kind of grew up on and really like, and they gravitate to those dishes for certain reasons.
Yep.
And I've tried to be very expansive, and it just kind of comes back to the home style food and stuff like that.
And I think I saw a pretty good sized case of gluten-free kind of things too. So lots of people have these dietary issues. What's in the case there?
So our gluten-free, unfortunately, it typically has, on fresh products, you typically have a shorter shelf life on them. So we do kind of gravitate more towards the freezer section for that. And that's more in like your sweet treats, and we do carry some gluten-free pastas and stuff like that. I mean, we're forever on the hunt for that, because obviously there is a market for that. There is a need for that.
Yeah.
And we do try to be conscious to a certain extent in our prepared foods, to have some gluten-free options.
Yeah. Yep. Great. That's great.
Easier said than done.
So have you been here for the whole 15 years since?
Yeah, we
Really?
started. This was now this project was kind of thought of about 20 years ago, and it was kind of originally my father's idea, and he asked me if I was on board with it, and I was doing something completely different at the time. And
Anything with food or no?
No, I was working on sport fish boats up and down the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
Very
living the
different.
endless summer. Yeah.
Very different than
Living out of a duffel bag, basically. But, I had grown up in the food business and been around it. So, we talked about this, and we took a solid 5 years of
Wow.
research. Going to different
That's
places.
a lot of
going-
research, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Taking your
places
notes.
down in Florida to Providence.
Wow.
And anywhere in between, we could
Yep.
stop and check out. And a lot of so that it was primarily his idea, and then we just kind of worked it together. And what we are now compared to what we thought it was going to be is pretty much completely different. So,
Completely, really.
well, not completely
Interesting.
different, but I mean, we didn't really put an effort so much on the prepared foods. It was more about being more of a traditional farm market, and then it just the prepared foods just every year we just kept adding a cooler, and so we just changed with the times.
Was your dad always the food kind of person? What was his background?
Yeah, I mean, he was Johnson and Wales trained chef. Ran a couple of restaurants back in the day. Some Vernon Styles. I don't know if that's an old one out in Thompson. Obviously no longer there, but and then him and my mother opened a bakery in Putnam. Originally in Putnam, called Baker's Dozen, and it was then it was a traditional bakery.
So the first
breads,
Baker's Dozen was in Putnam?
Yes,
Okay.
originally, and then they moved here to Brooklyn, and it was still originally a very traditional bakery. Wedding cakes, pastries, breads, and then he kind of morphed that into what is now the Baker's Dozen that my brother has got involved with, and it was really taking it to the next level as far as locations and stuff like that. But so my father's always had a deep passion for food. I grew up having a passion for food. We always ate well.
Well,
and,
I know what you mean, but I know what you mean. I can relate.
But you know what? If what do they say? Don't trust a skinny cook, kind of a thing.
Yes. So many are.
But so we were always kind of involved, in food as a family, and so it was kind of natural for us to gravitate.
So can you do large orders if people give you enough?
Large
what's the
orders.
largest you could go? I mean, I don't want to put you in a
Yeah,
compromising position.
It's no, so it's kind of a different thing. What we offer here is meals and pans to pick up cold, bring home and reheat. The catering aspect of this business, there are some people that do a really great job with that, and catering is kind of something I've been avoiding.
That's
to a
understandable.
certain extent because it's not my business. Like, and when people think of catering, they think of somebody coming to their house or a event center, setting up hot food and all that, and which I would expect too if I was going to get a caterer. What we do offer here is we call them party pans. So we have pans that you can pick up. They feed around 8 to 12 people, depending on the product.
All right, just so that you know how to plan ahead, so when you come here, you're not disappointed.
Yeah. So this weekend we'd probably have 8 orders of different parties and people and I've found that people like it because we try to keep it at a price point where you can that's pick it up and have the kind of catering style food, but you're not going to get the catering style price because we're not paying somebody to go and set up,
serve it, all that kind of stuff.
So you do have to do a little bit of the work, obviously, by reheating it or
It's no big deal.
But it's and it helps with people that kind of want to take the load off their shoulders and entertain smaller crowds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We do some it's kind of funny is over the years it's kind of changed, but we do have some old customers that were with us from day one that will that will do anything they ask for us because they were there for us when we first opened and we're scratching.
Sweet.
So
Very
so
sweet.
a little non-typical of what we do, but so I still, but every time I do it I'm like, whew, all right, this is why I'm not a caterer. And there's a lot of great caterers in the area.
It's time intensive work.
It is. And everybody wants it at the You know, it's a weekend
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and
Yep.
you know, it's you got to be set up for it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I get it. Well, I'm here with Tori Cardinal at Sweet Peas Fine Foods and Farm Market. Go over your address again and your phone number. I don't know if we went over your hours at the front end of things, so
okay,
get your hours in there and your social media presence.
okay. So we're Sweet Peas Fine Foods and Farm
Mm-hmm.
Market in Brooklyn, Connecticut, at 520 Providence Road,
So
right next
it's
door to Baker's Dozen.
yeah, Route 6,
Route
Route
6 in
6.
Brooklyn. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
We all know Route
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
And our phone is 860-4 or oh, geez, 860-779-3040. And
In your hours, excuse me.
hours are from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Sunday is 9 to 6.
So you're closed 90, you're closed on Saturday?
No, oh, I'm sorry, Monday through Saturday,
Okay, Monday through Saturday is
9 to 8.
9 to 8.
Yep, and then Sunday is 9 to 6.
Okay, because I was like, you can't be
Yeah,
closed on
no,
Saturday.
no closing on Saturdays.
Wow.
We're the only day of the year now that we're closed is Christmas.
Like Walmart. I think Walmart.
Yeah,
No?
well, you know, sometimes it's you know, in the business that we're in, you know, especially the holidays and stuff like that. That's
Those are the big.
our
those are-
big
yeah.
times. So.
So, people don't do things for 15 years if they hate it. Hopefully they don't. So, what do you love about what you're doing?
I love a lot of what I love about this business is, you know, trying to find the next great thing, trying to improve what we already have, the relationships that I've built
Yep,
over
it's
the
people.
years. I've got some really great people that have helped us build this place, and for that, you know, I'm forever grateful, and you know, just dealing with them on a daily basis. It's not always easy. It's not always the
No, because wherever
greatest
there's
thing,
people,
but
there's potential for,
Yeah, but
difficulties,
it's
problems, whatever.
still you know, the challenge, you know, and it's yeah, I love all aspects of it. I mean, sure, there are days where
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
certain aspects will wear you down, but
Anything new on the horizon for Sweet Peas
so
that you can, or I don't want you to
new-
tell all the secrets,
no,
but
no. I mean, I don't have anything really in the
Okay.
go tank right now, but we are, you know, we're really pushing our sandwiches, our sandwich line. We do have our covered deck now, so
Yeah,
that's
you
a
got.
great place.
I'm
even
glad
in
you
the
mentioned
rain.
that because I wanted to make sure that was mentioned before we had to wrap things up. So you can buy your food and you can sit outside in the covered deck.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
it's
the
really nice. It's
sandwiches
very pretty.
and you know, get a little lunch, salad. Our salad line has really come together. Crystal's doing a great job with that. Some really interesting different salads and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right. Well, what's your go-to? Like, if you're hungry, what do you grab?
Oh,
What are you getting?
everything. Well, see, yeah. I mean, in my position at the shop, you know, down in the kitchen, I kind of trying everything before it goes out.
If
so,
you need help with
yeah.
tasting or any
Yeah,
outside opinion, Tori, I'm here
yeah,
for you.
all right. Well,
Okay.
we appreciate
I
that.
will
And,
drive. This is halfway to Providence, so no
well,
problem.
that's it. Yeah, I mean, we're right in the middle of
You
from
are.
Wilmanic
Yeah.
and Providence. So, but yeah, so I'm, you know, the sandwiches, like I said, the salads are really coming together. You know, try it all. You know. And-
Yeah. Well, hey, our time is up. I want to thank
right.
you for being
Thank
on the
you.
radio here
Thanks
with
for
me on
coming.
Good Company WLI. This is Ruth Hartunian Elba. I am signing off. This is Ravings and Cravings, 5:05 to 5:30 every Monday. You take care. Good Company WLI. Thank you for the opportunity.